Boom. Test. Sound check. Test. Sound check. Boom. Okay. Test. Sound check. All right. What's up, people? Check. Welcome, Bow Betters. Sound check. All right. What's up, people? Check. Welcome, Bow Betters. I always do that shit. It's always fucking annoying, isn't it? What's going on? The lighting isn't on the beer. I got to get the lighting almost behind me, right? Got a new beer here, Lake Effect Brewing Company, with this Maxx Fish Toro. The cigar is a Honduran wrapper cigar that has, I believe, Honduran fillers, right? This Maxx Fish Honduran fillers with a Costa Rican binder from Alec and Alec Bradley, right? They make great cigars. We know how good they are. This was a $7.75 cigar. So it is a Maduro wrapper from Benny's cigar. The Lake Effect Brewing Company is here in Chicago. They make some really good stuff. I'm anxious about this IPA. It is very affordable. It was a $10.99 6-pack, which I couldn't believe, considering the price of most of the materials required to make beer nowadays are just going up and up and up, right? They're increasing in price. Why are you spending $16, $18 for a 4-pack of these specialty beers? Well, it's because the price of hops is increased ridiculously, in addition to the other materials they might put in. If you get a chocolate stout, it's going to have real chocolate in that stout. If you have something that has that hint of lemon rind or oranges, they are actually buying a ton of lemons and oranges, having somebody actually labor to get the rinds off that to utilize in order to make their product. And that's the same with the vanilla, right? I don't know what the cost of vanilla is at this time, but even products like that or ingredients like that cost money, and they're going to add to the cost of these premium beers. So, this being $10.99 for a premium beer, I wonder if this is being discontinued. Lake Effect Brewing is going through some changes. So that's pretty interesting. Here, let me see if I can get a little better light here. I'll light the spot up there. Yeah, so they're going through some changes. So we're going to see where, how this beer is going to taste. In addition, guys, I got a little surprise over here. Get my cord here and this thing. I get to unbox this. The watch check right now, of course, is still the Sugus, right? The Sugus, but today, just now, as I was about to go live, and I know Joey hates the product reviews. I get it, Joey. I know you hate the product reviews. But I got something in for myself, and hey, check it out. Look at in the box. Another Seiko watch. What Seiko might it be? Let's see what model. Does it have the model number on the side here? Yeah, it's the SNKS 73 men's bracelet. Suggested retail is $185. I got it for $98, right? In addition to that, I got my mom's favorite tea. I don't know if you guys are any tea heads or like tea at work or you're feeling sick. This tea here that I'm going to show you guys is all organic from South Africa. It comes in a box that has 4 flavors. It's this Rubos. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce this. Rubo Rocks tea that you could get off Amazon. It's like $16 for the box of it. I give this to my mom like every week, or every 2 weeks. I get her a box of it. It comes with 4 flavors of the tea. I'm not going to open it right now. It's a nice, colorful box. It has 4 different flavors, and it's all organic South African tea. And this is her favorite tea. So it's really good stuff. I'm going to probably open it out. You know what? I might as well open the box here quickly. What the hell? So that you guys can check out My letter cutter, not my knife. All right. I want to get to that beer. I want a beer. I haven't had it. Oh shit! I fucked up the box here. That's all right. Holding this up at the same time as getting to the tin, and that's the other good thing about this this tea. It comes in this nice tin box. I wonder if that's why my mom likes the darn thing too, because it's already a very like attractive, decorative holder, right? The actual tea's in here. You see, it has a natural. It's 10 bags. It's got some chai, a natural, a green, and a honey. So 4 different flavors in here. It's all natural. It's in the tin. Nice packaging, nice box. Country of origin, South Africa. Highly recommend this tea. If you're feeling sick or under the weather, this is the stuff to buy. This is stuff to get. And definitely check that out. So here, let me do this. So with I can free up my hands here. Oop. So that isn't going to work. And people are going to leave. That's all right. That's all right. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm going to have to hold that. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to flip this. No one's in the chat right now. We'll flip the script here. How'd everybody do last week? I didn't do well. My 2 main plays, you know, it isn't just predicting these things. I did get the Bonfim brothers, but I just didn't go large enough. And any profit that I did turn, I then flipped back into Glover to Sarah, which was the bad move to do, right? It wasn't the best call to make. Right, let me change this up here. Maxx, I don't need to. You saw the packaging there. On, let me see if I'm still casting sound here. I say a lot of the uhs. You know, it's funny when I was doing the recordings of the show or of my content, I was able to it stop when I would hear those uhs and just re-record. And you're wondering why I'm in my jacket. It's because I have the windows open. When I smoke down here, it gets the too much smoke. It's smoke everywhere. It stays in here almost permanently. It's pretty bad smoking down here in the amount that I do. So I'm just trying to avoid that. But yeah, we're gonna check out the Seiko watch I got. Let me take off the older one here. Put that right here on this box. Well, the older Sugus, 316 steel, automatic movement, Alpine bracelet. I don't know if I had the butterfly attachment. I put these butterfly what is the deployment, butterfly deployment clasps to them. I like them. It's a nice touch. Sometimes at work it makes it a little easier that it could pop off, but entering to and from security makes it a lot easier to take on and off. It makes it easier for me to switch them off and hand them to people to let them see the movement and or look at the watch itself. So let me see. Let me pop out the chat here, guys. Pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. And yeah, we are going to talk some MMA very briefly. I won't try to hold you guys too long. I get it. Not, you know, the viewerships are low, the actual participation's low. That's all. That's okay. Guys, I get it. Not a big deal. So let's start with this beer because I'm thirsty. I'm very interested in this, and again, you know, cost. This $10.99, I couldn't pass it up. I'm a fan of Lake Effect Brewing Company. I'm familiar with their product set. Those guys make really good beer. I was fortunate enough to party with them at a beer festival one time. It was nice finishing their beer. This has that really like little butterscotch apricot look to it. It's deep in texture for an IPA. I could smell the hops. Let me check my cheater glasses to see if there's any notes that are written on the can itself. No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah, here it is. Falcon Dive IPA. Loads of delicious Falconer's Blend Mosaic, Harleau, Blanc, and Citra were used in this batch to create a hop lover's delight. Bursts of citrus, pine, and tropical fruit soar over a base of Wisconsin pale and caramel malt. So it's a malt-based beer, so which is really strong. If you need a hop fix, this is the one for you. So there's a lot of hops in here. Interesting that it's a malt-based, caramel malt. That's why it's a 7%. I'm surprised it's not stronger. Malt beers, I used to be a big fan of malt beers. This definitely looks like a little bit of oldie. The oldie. And from the 80s or 90s, you might know what the Old English is, but, you know, Red Bull, Old English, it has that look to it. Has that caramelization as well. Yeah, I smell the citrus with the hops. Yeah, heavy caramel and hops. Very strong. This is definitely going to kick some ass here. So the Seiko, again, SNK S73. That's the model number right there. Comes in a simple box. Whoa, interesting. Ooh. Warranty card. I don't know why. I mean, these cards are important like in high-end watches. If you got like a you can write this in. If you got like a Grand Seiko, I would definitely keep these. I still keep them anyways, but you know, these are important when you're getting like a luxury watch. It came in, it's a little jumbled in there. There was no protection on it, but it came in on a pillow. Right, this is the watch itself, and it came with this pillow. It looked like it could have been pre-owned. Maybe that's why. Let me look at it closely. This is the silver dial with lume. Right, I have I have three models or three of this series now. Right, I believe there are like 12 watches in this series. It's a 39 millimeter watch, I believe. It doesn't have the description book. Let's see what it says. 3-bar, Hardlex crystal, SNKS 73. You should have gloves on. Doesn't look like, you know, it has any wear and tear or any scratches on it from what I can tell, which is not a big deal because it's going to be a dress watch. I might change this bracelet out. We'll see. But yeah, that face looks really nice. That silver, that's what I wanted. I have a yellow as well as a blue. A yellow, I'm going to say the yellow's leather, and then the blue is a suede, right? The other traditional suede for this watch, right? That I'm going to switch out, add some colors to it with some quick release straps. The pillow's different. It's normally a felt pillow. It has nice weight to it, and it has a larger face than some of the watches that I've already had. No, it is new. It hasn't been used. I could tell that because it still has the protection on the back here, which I'm going to try to get to. Let me look at that. That in there. Come on. Don't need that. And this bracelet, actually, I'm not a big fan of the Seiko bracelets, but this particular bracelet feels, it feels just as cheap as the other bracelet. So it's not a bad bracelet. It just feels a little light. just doesn't have a lot of weight to it. I'm not a big fan of their bracelets. That's why I change out the steel bracelets altogether. And here's the back of the watch. I don't know if you could get a good shot of the skeletal mechanisms. It's the same movement that's on the other watches there, right? Not bad. What time is it here? We're close to 6 o'clock. Let me change it's a day-date function. And the day-date function is you would click half. And I know I'm on the 26th, right? So you go upwards to change the date. And on that half, you go downward to change the day. And we're on Thursday. Lunes. Miércoles. And it's in Spanish and English. And then Thursday, boom. And we are at 10 to 6. A little. Closer to 5 to 6. So yeah. So I'll get to wear this through this presentation. There we go, guys. Another new Seiko. Did I deserve it? Probably not. I worked hard, but you know, I couldn't pass it up. I saw that even some of the Seiko watches, this watch was fluctuating in price a lot, as well as a couple others that I liked, and some actually went in price because I think what happened is they were starting to have less quantities of them. So as they become rare, have less quantity, the price is going to go up. This one has a serial number, which is interesting. It has a few serial numbers. Interesting. B14. I wonder if that's the steel. B14 and then a serial. But the stainless steel dial, it's got a nice look to it. It's clean. It's very, you know, it's got some weight, but it's fairly light. Right there. It's a little large on my wrist, but I could fix that actually right now if I wanted to. There's the Seikos have inside of them have this. All right, let me do that. Thought I had one here, but I don't. How's everyone's afternoon? Welcome, Paupetters. All right, with this punch tool that comes with all of my, every single one of my aftermarket wrappers, right? Use this punch tool, and there are, if you see here on the clasp, these little holes that you can use, and you use the straight little edge on this one to punch out, hold and punch. Ooh, the pin, and this little pin pops out, and you guys didn't see that, but this little pin pops out right here, this pin, and that way the clasp is there, right? So to get it back, I'm not gonna be able to show you on camera because I don't have the right angle. Use a different tool, side of the tool. Failed. One side of this pin, actually they both have the same thing. I thought they were different, but ooh. At least I'm not drinking a lot before I started this process here, guys. That's a positive. coming in there. Yep, and just like that. It's going to be, hopefully it's not too tight. No, because I moved it a few. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. Bam, I'm good. I'm not even a, oh, did I have it on backwards? Upside down. I mean, I'm not even a watchmaker, but after replacing the strap so much, I sort of, and the links, even I could actually shorten the links if I wanted to, but you don't have to, again, because most of your watches will have, again, those holes there where you can make the adjustment on the clasp so that you don't have to, yeah, this thing's going to scratch easily, so I'm not taking this one to work. This is purely going to be a dress watch. It won't see hard labor. You know, it's going to just stay. Is that just the way it goes? Oh, I might, yeah, I put it too much. I'm going to need to take, it's going to need the link adjustment. Interesting. Interesting. Like it won't let you, even though it has the option for those, that adjustment, it won't let you. Oh, that's what you don't want to do. That wasn't good. Luckily, I have more of those links. Now I'm going to have to find that link. That's okay because I'm getting a separate band. But that sucker popped out. That's how embarrassing. That's like, first I get it done really well, and that sucker flew. I have no idea where that thing went. No clue. I have no clue where that sucker went. I had it there, and then the link popped out. I do have another box of them, but that is too funny. So beware of doing that. Just what I did just now. It popped out. The pin popped, and that thing, I heard it fall like 8 feet away from here. So that's not a big deal because I'm getting the other bands, and I have some other 19mm bands. I should have waited to have more light or different context, not rushed it before I did this. That was too funny. Too funny, guys, but that's okay. This is the new watch. It's not ruined. There's nothing wrong with it. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out okay. I'm switching out these bands anyways, but I need to find that pin regardless. And I think I have one anyways, so it doesn't matter because I like to reuse the original watch pins when I buy my replacement bands. I like to use them anyways, but they do have some that come with it, and I'll use that here shortly. So big error on my part. Funny, but not a big deal because we'll store the watch nice and safely in the box here. Not a bad piece. Too funny. Keep that in the box, and so I just won't wear it for our show. I could have left it loose. I should have. But that's all right. I have plenty of watches. I got this, my Sugus here. I could wear that. I could wear the Sugus again. What's up, Real News? Yeah, everything's really good, dude. I might be heading to Mexico for the weekend, which things have got to be pretty good if I'm able to do that. And things aren't like great, but you only live once, man. You only got a little time in your life, and there aren't any waves, but I could just go there to stay on the beach, snorkel, swim, hang out, eat some good food, right? Still other things I could do, right? Don't have to just go there for the... That was too funny, man. Too fucking funny. I'm enjoying that one. And not even drunk, guys. Haven't even had a beer. This is the first beer I'm having right here. But it's strong beer. Insane. Too funny. Too funny. I need to find that pin. I really do need to find that pin because I prefer utilizing the original pins on the new straps because I know that the pins from the manufacturer are probably a little better quality and I know they fit perfectly. Whereas the ones from I think these straps are Chinese anyways. The watch itself is all Chinese. I'm sorry, but assembled in China with Japanese parts. Some Japanese parts and some Chinese parts. It's all a big mix mosh of those. So, well, let's get to something that maybe I hope I can't fuck up. Dude, I can't get over it, man. Oh God, I had it too. I was like, oh, what, it shortened it too much. I learned something new. That it, even though it has 6 or 7 available slots for you to shorten the bracelet, you can't utilize all of them. You actually have to remove the links because it goes past a certain point where the retention is. So, hey, thanks for hitting the like button, whoever you are, which is probably real news. I appreciate that. So this is the Maxx Fish, the Alex and Bradley cigar. Everybody was talking. I've seen these other cigar channels about what type of cut you use. I've used, the punch cut. I've used here's a gift from Brian. This punch or Calibri curved blade, right? This is a curve. You see how it's a curved blade? My Dunhill is a straight or angled blade, right? There are all kinds. There's a V cut that you could have, and then what I do a lot of time is the punch cut. There is a cutter that you could use as a punch, or you could use any other device. The main thing is, as we all agree, is that you just want to break a hole in the cap. No cap, break a hole in the cap right there. There's that little line. You just cut that around that little line, that little sliver. You're going to be fine. It's just like a baby's foreskin. You just take off the baby's foreskin, you're going to be good. Man, that beer is strong. I taste the malt now. It is a heavy malt beer. Today I'm gonna use the punch, the blade cut here. Ooh, that cut pretty good. It cut a lot. Cut a lot of the cap off, which is perfect. There was a nice, it's there. Then as long as it almost did it. As long as it doesn't break an area right there where it dishevels the wrapper, you're gonna be good. It came close. I think that was a good cut. That's a good cut, but it was a little heavy. But I got most of the cap off, if not all of it, which is good. You could have a fuller. There are differences, on how it'll hit the palate or touch the tongue when you do these different cuts, but it's not going to change the cigar flavor drastically, or if at all, right? The flavor is going to be there. It's going to just change the intensity of that, and as well as probably the rate of the burn, which can impact the flavor a little bit, but the underlying notes of the cigar are still going to remain the same. So, man, I like the packaging on this. I love that geometric design. There's a design like that on watches. That's a pressed watch. They press the dial or face of the watch. It's hard to see. And this feels like it's, the printing has like texture to it, which is sick. That's like really, really cool. Like that it has that texture. It's a really nice touch, really nice wrapper. Alec and Bradley, really, really classy. Digging it. Love the coloration, the colorway. It's really, really good. I see a lot of the guys that do these little cigar promos because I'm getting cigar stuff in my feed. Like other people's cigar content is starting to come into my feed, and all of them use like those torches, which I think are fine. Like those are butane torches. Those things work really, really well. They're effective. I used to use the torch. Have nothing against the torch whatsoever. But a lot of people use that torch. I tell you, the other good thing about that torch is like you could light that torch. You could still light this unique cigar lighter in the outdoors, but it's not going to hold up as well as those torches. Those torches literally are like a little flamethrower. They are like a torch. And again, I think I mentioned the faux pas of blowing into the cigars. I think a lot of some of the other cigar professionals think that that's a faux pas. I don't mind it at all. Sure, I could toast it right now. I could get to that section. And again, as long as you have the whole diameter, all of that area, that surface area sort of lit and started, you're going to be fine, right? You want to just get a nice even burn or start it evenly and get to that point where you know, you could actually see where it might need a little help charring up. You know, once you get that like sort of whole circular area caramelized, or not caramelized, but at least initiated, right? Like charred. That outside sort of texture to it. Yeah, this wouldn't last outside at all, huh? Not like those torches. Another winner, guys. What a great sweetness to it. Little pepper, but nothing. The pepper is followed up with a leathery sweetness to it. Really good cigar. Very nice, very nice. It's probably that Maduro wrapper. It isn't that intense chocolate that I like sometimes in Maduro. It's different. It's like a habanero Maduro. Again, we've had some of these cigars that are like this. This is the type of cigar, the sort of the flavor palette that I enjoy, the sort of blend that I enjoy. I don't like a cigar too spicy. I don't like a cigar too spicy. I like it with a hint of sweetness, a hint of chocolate. I like it with a leathery or earthy character. I prefer, and I always aim towards that plantain or a nut characteristic, whether it's, you know, walnut or almond, even macadamia, cashew. Oh, those are all fabulous. This one has that more of that almond characteristic to it, like a toasted almond. Hazelnut's another good flavor. All those nuts or various ones that have, there's subtle differences even in the nuts themselves. This has a little bit more of an almond texture to it. Has that sort of earthiness on the top, and that leatheriness to the almond. You know, the almond husk, or the actual outer bit of it that surrounds the actual fruit. The nut, I should say. Very nice, guys. Very, very nice. Yeah, so go back to recapping what a weekend. Fabulous card, of course. We all expected that card. Predicting things, I'm not, you know, anybody can predict stuff. Like, there's some things that I did predict well. It's what you take home. It's what you win. It's winning those bets that's what's important, right? We could all make good picks. We all can provide like our post analysis. Glover just didn't show up, and he got obliterated. He stood way too long, had no speed. You could see his age. Jamal Hill was all over him, counter striking him and attacking him. Both. Like anytime that Glover tried to do something, it was just like he just got hit. He got tagged. Like trying to throw one, Jamal would slip it and throw three. Right? He just pieced Glover up. So performance of the night for me was Brandon Moreno. Regardless of what people think of that hit with that, like that he thumbed him, he knuckled him, right? Like he side knuckled him like that. Completely legal hit, dominated, just great performance. The other main bet that I did lose was the Bear Jew. Again, like, dude, why are you exposing yourself a little? If you didn't get the takedown properly, it's that wrestling. A lot of these guys, the Europeans and Brazilians, their wrestling is just not all there, right? Like they need to really work on where to put themselves when they're not getting the takedown, how to reset themselves, get to an area where they could protect themselves. Just poor fight IQ, poor wrestling IQ. And then some guys with the lack of the wrestling, and others like one of the Bonfim brothers, like the actual good wrestling, as well as jiu-jitsu, like rolling into that guillotine it's considered like a guillotine still. Just incredible roll that he did, and just a very good awareness of, hey, I got this guy stunned. Let me close distance and take this guy down. Right? A lot of these Brazilian, especially these jiu-jitsu masters, need to start working on that wrestling, just like Damian Maia did. Like, practice your wrestling, get to that wrestling. And it still didn't save Damian Maia. He just could never make the bigger leap to get to the elite level of wrestling where he could utilize it against his opponents in the UFC. He worked on it. He got much better at it, but it was never at the place where he needed to be. And God, I didn't bet on T-Rex. The Bonfims was easy money. The Bonfim parlay, they were set up to win in Brazil, right? Another big bet I lost was Jessica Andrade by TKO. But that wasn't the main. The main bets were Glover. The biggest bet, the biggest loss. I flipped all my profits and everything. I was up close to $300 at the end of the night, and I took that $300 and I put it all into Glover and lost it. So it was a poor night because I had a little too much faith, maybe chasing too much, getting Glover at like plus 150 at fight time, plus 160, I think even. Yeah, real bad move, bad call. What more can I say? It was just ended up not losing my shorts, but I lost some watch money or multiple watches. If you buy $100 Seikos, I consider what I have as an affordable watch collection, right? All the watches I have, with the exception of one, is going to be, all of them are going to be $200 and under, right? I do have some, all of them are like $200 and under, right? I have some on the horizon that I think I'm going to buy that are in that $300-400 range, but I might hold back on those and then just step up to a higher end Omega, just bite the bullet and see if I can get either a used Omega or a used Rolex that's similar to what I have. Or just continue buying a bunch more of the affordable watches. I'm at the point where I definitely have more watches than I have the time to wear them. Because I can only wear one dress watch at a time. The sport watches, I don't like using even the $200 sport watches in sport to actually like go diving or swimming or something like that. I prefer to take my cheap Casios. Take the Casios. If you have something for utility where it could get, you think something's going to get messed up, your watch could get scratched, damaged, or lost, take the Casio. You could be walking the street someplace that's pretty shady, that is, that could be a little sketchy, or someone might take your watch. Take the Casio. Hiking up a mountain, jet skiing, snorkeling, playing basketball, skateboarding, take the Casio. Or the Timex. Take the $50 Timex, you know what I mean? Next week, guys, I can't say it's a horrible card, but what the hell? What is going on with this card? All the Korean fighters that were supposed to be in Korea on this card, that half, I mean, we know half of them. We've seen a lot of them in events. But for as far as betting goes, it's just not really a clean card at all, right? I mean, just busting through this. Huyun Sung Park versus Seung Choi. I believe two Korean guys. Hu Sung Park is a minus 195 favorite. Not happy there. Ji-Young Kim is a minus 286 favorite against Bone Mandy, and I think that's a good parlay piece right there. If you're going to make a parlay with someone, Ji-Young Kim is a tough woman. She's not going any place, and she could hit hard. I think she's going to take Mandy Bone pretty easily. So that's a potential parlay piece. These two fighters here, I need to actually look. I didn't look too closely at it. Anshul Jubli and Jekka Saragih. Jubli is a minus 121 favorite. Have no interest in it there. Junyun Park, which we're familiar with, against Denise Tulinin. Again, another no-namer. It's just a bunch of randoms on this card, which means I'm staying far away. Reina Nakamura, we've seen this dude. This dude could brawl. This dude versus Tsutomu Kazama, minus 435, can't touch it. Right? You might be able to touch it, but I'm not going to parlay that either. Tiara Tesuro, minus 1,000 against Jesus Santos Aguilar at plus 650, staying away. Next, I think it's a Chinese versus Korean matchup. Zai versus Jong Yong Lee. I'm going to do another show on this, guys. This is next week. I'm staying away from it. I'm sad that Daun Jung and Devin Clark. Man, Daun Jung, I think, got knocked out on his last outing. Did he not? Daun Jung, did he get knocked out on his last outing? Yeah, Justin Jacoby finally, knocked him out, I believe. It was Jacoby lost. Yeah, punches. Finally, Jacoby got a knockout. But that's Kobe. Devin Clark is not that. Everyone thinks that Jung has like great wrestling. I think he might have better wrestling than Devin Clark, but he's also got other elements defensively, and he's just got more tools. So the parlay could be that Daun Jung with Jin Young Kim right now, and that'll still only get you to minus 110 or even money, right? Tough. Da Hu Choi, Another guy that we're familiar with against Kyle Nelson. You throw him as a 3-piece there, you have plus 182. Guys, I think this is a card to avoid. I think it's just like beer and popcorn, beer, whatever, wherever you guys want to put it, a cigar and some beer. Some lottery ticket bets. This is I don't want to have anything to do with this card. I'm not even Marcin Tybura, my boy. I think he'll beat Blago Inobov. I think Tybura has the strength, the fortitude, just his fight IQ sometimes, man. Just not the brightest guy. Just can't get certain things going. Starts really, really, really slow. Tough man, but I just can't see it. I think Derek Lewis could be spent, even though he looks as light as he ever has in his life. Sergey Spivak is surging. I think he's gotten better. He's going to have a huge grappling advantage here. And if we put, for example, I think Spivak's going to take this. I don't think he's going to get knocked out. I think he's going to avoid the knockout. I like Marcin Tybura. I like Du Hu Choi. I like Daun Jung. I like Jun Park. And I like Ji Yoon Kim at plus 885, a 6-pick. I might throw lottery ticket money at that. I might throw like a 10 or 20 spot on the 6-pick to a 10 will make you 100 or 90. Yeah, about $100. And then 20 on a 6-pick, as you could already tell, will net you 176 bucks. I might try to break up or make this into a round robin of 6. The Hines. I don't know if DraftKings will let me make a very inexpensive Hines bet, like betting $171 or basically 57 parlays. 57 parlays, guys, at $171. That is 2 pick round robins, 15 2-picks, 20 3-pick round robins, right? 15 4 picks, 6 5-picks, and 1 6-pick parlay. $171 Hines. That might be what I'm going to do. Something in that area. I'm going to try to find some of these favorites and do the old Trixie. The old Trixies, the old Yankees. That's the key, right? I like Ji Yoon Kim. I might have to keep her in there. That's one of my most solid picks. I like, Tybura. I got to keep him in there because he's a good number. Yeah, all these are a good number. You make here. Let's work this out differently, right? Like we put that 6-pick parlay. We just put like $3 on that. Actually, no, 3. What are the Hines? Yeah, 3 on that. The 5-pick round robin or 6 bets. 2 on the actually, yep. The 15 to actually just maybe a $2 Hines. $2 Hines, $114 to win 315. That might be my play, guys. I'm not wagering more than $100 on this event. I think that I'm happy with that, and I'm happy at parlaying it, because if I'm going to bet $100, I'll see you on Wednesday In fact, next Wednesday, when the parlays hit, I mean the prop bets hit, but I don't know how much I'm going to prop out. And again, remember last fight, other than there were some dogs in there, like RoboCop losing his fight. He was a huge favorite, and if you took that guy by knockout, he was like plus 600, plus 800 by KO, and that was his win method or win condition. I mean. See if anybody said anything in the chat. I don't think anybody said anything. I got nobody in the chat again. Yeah, it's hard to make an unscripted show or content when you don't prepare. You're here really just to smoke a cigar and have a beer. And then you haven't scripted anything. You haven't written anything down. You have no notes. You're just going to Tapology and the betting website, the odds websites, and getting some odds there. So it is what it is, guys. Like I said, I'm here pretty much to drink in it, have a cigar. I didn't intend to be on here long, so that's all right. And this card is must stay away MMA gambling, right? Like some of it's not the sort of the odds. It's part unfamiliarity. We could do our research. Yes, we have to do our research. Like, we know Ji Young Kim is a monster, but what if something goes different here? Jo Young Park lost in his last outing, right? And I think did he lose in his last two? No, he beat Kennedy Njoku, which is a big win. Like, he beat Knight. He had a draw with Alvi, and he beat Rodriguez, right? So he's beat some people, but Sida is, I think he could take Devin Clark. This is going to be in Vegas, which is interesting. Like, this was supposed to take place in Korea, right? And it's interesting because these Koreans now have to be, and I bet a lot of them do train here, but a lot of them don't. I think we saw that. I'm really surprised with Jamal Hill adjusting to Brazil as well as he did. Some of the other folks didn't, right? Not bad. Not bad. For around a $10 cigar, or this one's $8, most of the cigars, like I could see the oils in it, are going to be pretty darn good. And Alec and Bradley right now, they're not they might as well be top shelf. For dollar, I would say that them and Undercrown or Drew Estate and Alec and Bradley right now are making some of the finest cigars in the industry that are affordable, that are in that $7 to $12 range. I don't think you could beat any of the cigars they make. All their cigars taste better. They taste like much higher end top shelf cigars. You can't go wrong sitting on them, purchasing them. Than this Maxx Fix cigar. This is a really nice smoke. Soft on the nose, full-bodied on the palate. I love that finishing, like, again, that little slight sweetness to it with a tiny bit of pepper, tiny bit of pepper, but it's just so subtle. That leatheriness, that more of an almond sweetness to it, that nut character to it, just fabulous. Just a really good cigar. I gotta go 8.5, 8.7, 8.75. Almost 9 club. 8.75. Excellent aromas. Really, really, really nice smoke. Yeah, still nobody in the chat. Where you guys go? Is there football on today, guys? Yeah, but I guess people will get sick of hearing me. Oh, he's saying the same thing about the cigars. He's always smoking and drinking. That's all that guy does. Well, thankfully, I'm able to do it. Yeah, here's Phantom Smeagol saying he might put Ji-Yoon Kim, Marcin, and Spivak in a parlay. Yeah, put them in a Trixie, bro. Let's see what the Trixie is with those guys, right? Doon Jung. I think he's prepared. He's going to come through. Devin Clark, talk about inconsistency. He's inconsistent, right? Ji-Yoon Kim, I feel strongly on. We'll take out Julian Park. Doohoo Choi, I'm surprised you don't like Choi. I guess Kyle Nelson is pretty darn good, but Choi's a badass, man. If Kyle Nelson stands on the feet with him, he's going to be in trouble. So you said Ji-Yoon Kim. We take Doon Jung out. You said Kim, Tiburia, and Spivak. You're going to get to in just a parlay, you're going to get to plus 217 in a 3-pick. That's okay. I would round robin that out. I would play the Trixie for $20 for $80. Yeah, that's not bad. Pays 110. That might be a better play because I have those 3 fighters as well, right? Like those are 3 of the 6 that I put out. And rather than take the risk to reward for an added, I forgot what the added payout was on the 6-pick. The 3-pick is a far, far, far more probable play and has a higher chance of cashing, right? Easily. Just simple math. But if you're on those 3, yeah, I agree with you, Smeagol. The odds aren't great. We're talking mediocre MMA practitioners. Who's the best fight? I think Sergey Spivak might be the best fighter on this card. I think that's a fair assessment. Would somebody disagree with that? I think him or Doon Jung might be the best all-around fighters on this card, I would argue. Right? That's just my opinion. Derek Lewis, of course, always has that one touch, one pop, knockout punch at any point in the fight, right? But I think Spivak's gonna tag him, hurt him, back him up against the cage, smaller cage, take him down, and I think Spivak's either going to get the ground and pound TKO or the submission. Tiburia is going to do his Tiburia. He's going to do his normal grind. Start slow, grind at Igor, Blogi Inovov. Try to hold him up, do a lot of dirty boxing, possibly take him down. Real News is talking about Dennis Tulunian. Man, against Julian Park? Ooh, man, I don't know about that one, brother. Yeah, Phantom Smee was saying that Doohoo Choi hasn't fought since 2019. He hasn't won since 2016. Well, I don't think I put Doohoo Choi in the 6-pick. So that's okay. I appreciate that information. Again, this is a sketchy card to bet. I don't say there's like even dog or pass scenarios here.
I think a lot of these favorites are going to win these fights. It is like one of those cards like last week's card where it was the Brazilians. It's interesting that the two champion Brazilians were the ones that lost. All the other Brazilians almost swept it, right? It was all a clean sweep, and that was a big my fault. Is I got caught up in that momentum. I was like, dude, the Brazilians are just dominating, right? You know, all the Bonfim brothers, José Nunez won, right? Brazilian. Daniel Marcos, that was another bet. I didn't go heavy on that, but at the beginning he beat the Simon Oliveira. Yeah, he's a Brazilian, so he lost out the gate, and I expected that to happen. Nunez I picked. The Wally Alvarez Dalby fight I thought was a 50-50, but anyways, I think Alves almost could have won that, but it was very, very close. Dalby was surprised that he won that. Ismael Bonfim won. Cody Stamen, I don't know why people thought that it was a close fight. I think that Cody Stamen did do enough to win that outright. Jalton Almeida, easy win. The other Bonfim brother, easy win. Thiago Moses, easy win. Bruno Vieira, Brazilian, against Greg Rodriguez. Of course, there's going to be a winner there. Rua, what the fuck was Rua doing in there? We know what was happened there. Johnny Walker, Jessica Andrade, dude. 231 strikes to 100 strikes, right? Just insane amount of output, right? She threw 369 strikes, 62% landing. At the headshot, she landed 161 headshots of 292 compared to 81 of Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy was doing shit, but it just nothing phased Andrade. I had the TKO at a Maxx prop bet, so that hurt me. But you know, the Brazilians had momentum. After that, Neil Magny destroyed Gilbert Burn. Gilbert Burn destroyed Neil Magny, and I was either at the end. I was like, do I bet on Brandon Moreno, take a risk, or Davison Figueiredo, or do I go Glover? And I was like, okay, I went Glover. I took all my profits, all my winnings, and I went Glover, and it was a big mistake. Right? I went with more of what I thought could happen rather than what did happen. I went with what should occur in the fight, or what methodology I thought Glover would take, and then now that's happening. Didn't happen. What possibly is going to happen is Porteria now is going to fight. Glover's striking partner wants to take on Jamal Hill. He wants to go up and take a title fight. I think Hill should give it to him. Yeah. I knew Murphy was tough, but there were many instances there where the ref easily could have called that fight. There were many moments, and the guy wanted to. He was stepped in a couple times to separate him to just call it, but Murphy kept on defending, taking the punches, moving out, intelligently defending herself. It just didn't happen. But yeah, I'm not going to say hats off to Murphy. I don't think there was maybe two instances where she tagged Andrade, right? Two instances where she had a chance of just did any damage. She had 2-3 good blows out of those 80, which is pretty good, right? It's not a horrible 80 landed strikes. It's not horrible, but come on, 300. What did I say? 300 to 80. What was the difference there? It was a lot, right? What was the difference there? Yeah, 231 significant strikes to 100, double and a third of the output. Just insane amount of output, right? Then Andrade, 1 minute control time, 1 takedown. Lauren Murphy was 0 for 15 on her takedowns with 34% striking advantage. Right? And it just insane. I was on the Paul Craig side because I thought Craig, I thought he had improved his wrestling. Hanging on the waist, leaving his head there, and while he's not getting the takedown, even though he got tagged in that position before, was just so stupid. It's like, dude, you don't have the takedown. You got to separate or get to the back. You got to spin around, get to, even though they were on the fence, then you got to just separate and go upstairs and then go back down, right? Just do something different than just hang on there. And even those side blows from some of these big, powerful guys, where you're just taking like those small little punches when they're trying to take you down, especially with a striker like him, with physical specimen too, you're going to get knocked out. Yeah, this is a nice Habano Maduro. I wish it had had a little bit more of that chocolatiness, but I don't mind it at all. It's a nice cigar. Who do you guys think has the other than it's gonna not to go the distance between Spivak and Lewis is gonna be like at minus 400. What other fights that you guys think might not go the distance here? Believe it or not, I think that Clark and Daun Jung could go the distance, right? Kim, Mandy Bohm, I think these ladies fights all can go the distance. Taburia, even Inovov can go the distance. But hey, last time you sometimes when you see these cards and you're like, oh man, it's such a mediocre card. There could be these finishes. Man, they end up going like they all have a ton of finishes. Like all these cards where you think, oh, it's gonna be boring, mediocre MMA, and next thing you know, it shines. Like all the fights end up being fire. All the fights end up being exciting, close, with a ton of finishes, right? So that's what's the fun as a fan. Testy is a gambler. Like this is a gambler's card, not a gambling analyst like myself or that. It's more for the guys that take a lot of risk and are willing to, like, you know what, I'm going to put something on, say Blagojevic knocking out Tiburia, or actually getting a submission, or taking Derek Lewis. His line for the KO might be a little better this time. It's normally like at plus 100, plus 150, if that. In this fight, it might be a little bit more. Rinya Nakamura, he's the finisher guy. He's the guy that finishes it, right? And Tiara Tatsuro also finished, but I like that Rinya by a finish, but it probably isn't going to be that great, right? And by TKO. And is Tiara Tatsuro, is he more the jiu-jitsu guy? Is he the jiu-jitsu sensation? Let me look over here. Let me go back. I forget which one of these guys is the jiu-jitsu. Like all of his wins, almost all of them, are by submission. No, it doesn't have it here. Interesting. Tiara Tatsuro. Yeah, he's got an armbar against CJ Vergara last time out at Fight Night. Yeah, Tiara, and I picked that. Yeah, Tiara, that's why he's minus 1,000. And his subline is probably going to be a minus 100. Yeah. Yeah, Tiara Tatsuro, the dude's jiu-jitsu, Tiara's jiu-jitsu is like really good. Not the worst striking, but that's why, he's minus 1,000, because he probably has the best jiu-jitsu on this card. He does have the best jiu-jitsu on this card. Looking up and down the whole card, he's the only one with genuine jiu-jitsu. Sergey Spivak does have jiu-jitsu, but not like roll, escape, like ankle, not the level of jiu-jitsu that Tiara has. So I thought I recognized the name. I know the fighter now in my head, and I know now why he's minus 1,000, because he's going to snatch up a fucking triangle choke, or he's going to snatch up a choke, I think, pretty easily here. All right, well, Alec and Bradley did something that I'm not a big... Oh, no, there it is. They used a little additional piece, that piece right there that was attractive, to add a little glue and add a little adhesion to this. This is a nice quality wrapper. I mean, the band, a little big, because it's Maxx. Gotta be big, gotta max it out. Nice shit. I was going to get ready for Cabo today, but I'm like, what the fuck? I don't need to get ready for Cabo. I'm going to rent my board there. I'm not going to be any surfing. Put the fins and the snorkeling stuff in the carry-on. Bunch of shorts, right? Bunch of shirts, towels. We're done. Little carry-on. My toiletry bag's already packed. I can pack in 10 minutes to go. It's not that hard to pack. How the stuff already pretty much ready in a location for the summer, all my summer gear, so it's not a big deal. Passport's right here in the file area here. We're good. I might leave last minute. I'm going to be pretty tired. But yeah, I think I still might go, and I might just go just to be in the sun, hang out on the beach, do a little snorkeling, a little swimming, eat great, fantastic food, have a cigar someplace, just chill out. There's no UFC this week. I did a little double time today, a little overtime yesterday, a little overtime tomorrow. Sure, I could say make some money over the weekend, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. Real News is saying Tulunin has no distance. Chara has great jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't hate his striking either. Yeah. That might be I think that's why it's minus 1,000. It's like the most obvious person who has the most obvious path to a finish is him, and maybe Junior Park. I think is there as well. Who knows? Maybe Ji Yoon Kim could finish Manny Bone. Who knows? It's interesting how there's some Korean on Korean violence in here, and then there are other Asians against other Asians. There are a couple Japanese fighters here, a lot of Asians. This card, I think, was supposed to take place in Asia, and it was supposed to be in Korea, and it just fell through. And it just has a lot of names. And is it going to be on Korean time? I think I also heard that. I think Joey had mentioned to me that it starts at, no, it says 5 p.m. here. Well, okay, good. I thought it was going to be at some awkward hour. Like the whole event was going to. Whole event starts late. It says 5 p.m. here for a bunch of fights. So it's a late starting bout, which means it's in the morning in Korea, I guess. It's a very early card over there. Like we sometimes have those cards here where it's like a 10 a.m. start. It happened a couple times, right? So often I get lost in the cigar and it's changing. That puff right there, it had a little bit more of a turmeric, not to, or more of a Mexican sort of spice to it. Really interesting, and that could be because the beer is heavy, like super. Look at this thing. There is, I think, all the citra that's in there gets eaten up by the malt. Like it's more heavy caramel, and this thing's giving me a big old buzz. Like this is strong, like that that old English, that malt liquor, even though it's not a malt liquor. Yeah, there are hints of the citra, but heavier malt. Not bad though. Like it's perfect with this cigar. We'll grab another one. A great pair. The cigar with this beer, this malt, the malt is the caramely, really good. Really, really good. It's bringing out the sweeter character of the cigar. Very good pair. Very good pair. And I used to love these malt. These malt based beers used to be like my bread and butter. I loved all malt beer like Elephant. Shit, I used to love Old E. Old E or Big Bear. There are a bunch of malt beers that I used to really enjoy. Nothing as good as this though. Look at this. Right? Subtle hops, more caramel with a little punch. Like it has that. It tastes stronger than what the 7% is. It tastes more like some of those double IPAs. It has that because of the malt or the higher malt content probably has some kick. For $10.99 for a 6 pack of this beer is a steal. I would expect this 6 pack to sell for uh, $15, right? At least. And for $10.99, I saw that price. I jumped on that. I was like, done. Lake Effect Brewing, the Falcon Dive IPA, excellent. Cost, you know where it costs? Like, not the cost on these labels is nothing. The cans as well. I'm not saying nothing, but they pay somebody to design these, right? It's not always free, right? They have to do it one-offs. They do it on computer. The label printer they put on is fairly basic, as well as the labeler that they do it. It's a little bit slower. It might take somebody a long time to do it, right? I've seen the labeler. It's not a mass labeler on some of these microbrewery places. It's not like these other breweries where it's like they could do fucking 200 cans in 5 minutes or less. You know, this thing's gonna do like one can in a minute. Or not a minute, but like it's just not super fast, right? Like you have to load it in. Somebody's gonna have to do it, take it out. Like it handles like 10, 12 cans for a time. I'll knock your motherfucking ass out. I don't have knockout power. I used to have good kicks before my knees went out. I'd be able to like hurt you with the knees, just like that one. I guess he's from Venezuela. Where's he from? Latino fighter that kicks people to death. I used to do that to people, but no, I don't have that knockout power. I could knock you the fuck out. I would just bite your face off. Probably bite your face off. Tuin will win, plus 200. Against Julian Park? Hey. Maybe that's also leave Park out of the 6th pick. I like this guy's Trixie. I like Ji-Yoon Kim. I like my boy. I've been betting Taboria, even though he fucking burned me a few times out. But I like that number in Spivak. I like that 3 pick at plus 217. For Phantom Smeagol might have the play there. He might have that Trixie. You put that in a Trixie, like I'm saying. Joey's saying Tuluim has good wrestling and as well as good striking and cardio. And Park blocks with his face. Yeah, Park does block with his face. He does, but he's got some good volume, great speed. I just leave him out of my parlay. Unfortunately for the Koreans, this fight's taking place in Vegas, but they don't have their fans. But what did we see in that last card? The fans abandoned the Brazilians. If the fans left early. After Figueiredo won, and they threw beers and all kinds of shit at him, they left. They didn't even go see. They didn't wait to see Glover fight. That's Joey's hot take right there. That could be considered Joey's pick, Tuin. Right there, guys. You might have to take heed of that. Tuin. Right, he is more active striker, not as accurate. He absorbs actually more than Park. Park has better wrestling, better takedown accuracy, takedown percentage. Tuluim has better takedown defense. You beat Pickett. Hold on. Oh, it's official. That's Joey's pick, guys. It's official. Tuluim right now. And Joey was saying like will win at plus 200. Maybe his number, it's right now in Rivers, it's plus 163. I jump on it now, guys. If you are interested, Joey's calling his pick. He's cheap with his picks. He doesn't only mention his picks anymore because I haven't been making the content with the slides and everything with the Joey's pick, so he hasn't been giving the picks out. So there you go. It's in the chat. It's in the content. It's official. He was plus 200 yesterday, probably because you, like yourself, you realize that there's value there, and you're betting the dog, right? And that's going to change by next week. Who knows if it changes completely? Yeah, this card could get out of hand by fight time in a week. It did with the Brazilian card. Like the numbers just got out of hand. Right? It was out there for a while. Look at waiting on John Jones opened up as an underdog. He's now a minus 132 favorite. He was like a minus 130 plus 130 underdog a week and a half ago, right? It's betting some of these in advance. Islam is now he was minus 330, minus 320, I think at one point. When have you seen Islam that low? Right? So it's it's important to jump on some of these if you can, if you feel a certain way, if you think, especially the more popular fights, right? Like Sergey Spivak is going to easily not be a parlay piece. I don't think by fight time. I think people are going to stack them in their parlays. All the people we mentioned, the six fighters I mentioned, are, whether they're going to win or not, regardless, their number, I think they're going to become larger favorites by next week, and significantly so. Right? I think the time to bet is now, for sure. This week, the 4-fight week. Well, the thing with Joey saying don't bet against Lewis in the small apex cage, I wouldn't say that. I was just like, did you see how much weight that motherfucker lost? He like thinned down. He looks like a light heavy. I mean, he looks really, really good. And he's a great athlete. He can move very well. But besides the weight loss, like that helps to somewhat. But where's the technique? Where's the development in his fighting mindset? We've seen that from Spivak. Lost a lot of weight too, but Spivak put all his skills together a lot better. He's developed skill-wise a lot better than a lot of the other heavyweights. And I think Spivak is, I side with him, and I think that number is going to go greater. Yes, don't bet against him. Maybe leave out and like maybe not use Tyboria, but those numbers are pretty good. My play right now, while this week as a parlay piece, is who's the best parlay play. Maybe Juyun Kim with the dog Tulun Dennis, and somebody else like Daeun Jung. That's a 3-piece at plus 404, and you put them in the round robin. I put them in the round robin with the Trixie at $25, $100 to win $256. And then I worry about fucking Devin Clark playing spoiler. Tulin Dennis, then he's not getting it done. Because I faded Juyun Park before. I faded Juyun Park. Of course I did. I mean, Park's a big man. He's a big fucking goddamn. He's Korean, right? Juyun Park beat Joseph Holmes. He beat Eric Anders. It's a big win. He lost to Gregory Rodriguez, right, by TKO. He beat Teflon Njuku. He beat Andre Barrial. I remember I fucking had Barrial in that fight. Oh, man, that hurt. That fucking hurt, man. So, Park's the Iron Turtle. And Eunjung is a big guy too, man. Wins. They both have wins overnight. Clark lost to Taburia. A draw against Alvi. Having a draw against Alvi is like, that's not a good look. Losing to Alvi or having a draw against Alvi is not a good look. Regardless, guys, I think the key here is to find a 2-piece, find a 3-piece. I think method props are going to be really hard on this card. It's going to be very treacherous picking this card. Yeah, Joey, it's going to be hard. This card, ridiculously tough. And it's ridiculously tough because we're not dealing with superstars. We're not dealing with standout, all-around, strong MMA practitioners. We're dealing with some specialists, a lot of strikers primarily, one strong grappler. No one is like particularly well-rounded or upper level in any of the these bouts. I think it's a stay away card. Not like the risk to reward, even in the live bet, is not, you'll get it, that good read, but the risk to reward from it could flip flop or change. I haven't even looked at like what the rankings are of most of these individuals, right? Like none of these individuals do we have, other than the main event. Is Derek Lewis and Sergey Spivak's in the top 10? Lewis isn't anymore. I don't think he is. Like, is anybody in the top 10 or even top 15 of their division other than Ji-Yoon Kim is in the top 10? Right? I don't think any of these fights, except for Spivak are any contenders. Like, we're dealing with like top 15, top 20 fighters, maybe even further than that. Like guys that are in the top 30, and women that are in the top 30, they're like not in the upper echelon of the UFC, and that's always harder to pick because we don't have the real picture. We don't have the blueprint of and the knowledge base, as well as the base of just the diversity of fighting that anyone can win these bouts. I think this is going to be one of those sneaky cards that we're going to see a lot of crazy fights in. Like, this is, when these kinds of fighters meet each other, where nobody dominates, somebody shines. Somebody ends up like coming out of their shell, something unexpected happens, or just great fights ensue. I think this card could honestly surprise us. It's always the case when it's like this, when everyone says, oh, it's a crappy card, don't know any of these fighters, and next thing you know, tons of crazy finishes, crazy knockouts, crazy submissions. People who don't get submissions get submissions. People who don't get knockouts get the knockouts, right? Like, underdogs win, favorites fucking dominate. It's going to be I think it's going to be one of those cards. Man, I'm feeling these beers. I like these. Real News is saying, I think Ji-Yoon Lee could be the one who shines against Xia Yi. Why do you say that? Let's see why do you say that? Let me see this here. Man, we don't have a lot of knowledge on these. I mean, Yiza is a grappler, right? Like, almost 8 takedowns a fight. But Ji-Yoon Lee, like, fucking it's wrestler versus grappler versus, yeah. Like, Lee lands 10 strikes per minute. I could see that, I could, Real News, I feel you on this one. Right? But look at the average fight time and the experience on Yiza. Yeah, Lee is super active on the feet. Could have a huge, huge fucking goddamn striking advantage. Both have no defense. Real news is what I'm thinking is like exactly. This is the type that this fight is going to be one that like is going to be crazy. Like there's going to be striking, there's going to be grappling, there's going to be reversals, there's going to be fucking close submission attempts to escapes. Like that, this fight, statistically looking at it, has like the opportunity, the opportunity to be like just exciting. Like you're not as familiar with the fighters, and next thing you know, it ends up like being this crazy stand up to grappling, back to stand up, and then the more grappling. Like it ends up being like super exciting, right? Like I think that this card is going to be, I hope I'm just hoping as an MMA fan that it's a sleeper card. From a gambling fan, or not gambling, because gambling entails like really taking really good, hey guys in the chat, good information from Real News. Real News always is on the beat. The guy is the real news when it comes to MMA. He does his research. He fucking got these hot tips, this shit that I fucking don't even know sometimes. Even when I do research, he's fucking always got a little edge, a little spicy something there that is value add, is what we used to say in the industry, that of information. And he's saying that he watched the fights. He'd like to stand up his and against the right guy, he can make their stand up look not so great. Yeah, and Lee has a good stand up game, right? And Ziya doesn't have one. So Ziya, even though he's from Shurong and Sumer Jute's camp, I mean, he's the guy that helps them with the grappling, though, right? He's the guy that helps them prepare, and he's more of that grappling fighter and teammate. But still, I think this is one of the fights, and I think because we've mentioned it, like, and we mentioned it in the context that I did initially, that it's one of the fights to watch. I think it could be an interesting, exciting bout. Is out of just pure speculation. I'm hoping that this ends up being like what I would predict or what I would hope can happen in a lot of these bouts. I think that there is so much parity that it could be anybody's fight sometimes, right? And that's why Joey's mentioning that the live lines are the way. It might be the better approach to these, but I've stayed away from a lot of distance props myself, unless they're like sort of close to even money. Although last week I think I should have parlayed a lot of the distance props. I should have been looking at them. I've been veering away from them myself and not parlaying or tricksying the distance props as much lately. Just seen too much happen, or just not had the right taste. And I used to do a lot of distance props myself. I used to bet a lot of those. And I stopped doing them, and I should. I think I need to go back to an extent, even though I have more money to gamble now. I think I should still go back to doing my lottery ticket, like my $5 distance props, my parlays, my methodology, $5 method prop bets, right? Going back even to a little, even though I know it's going contrary to what I say and what I've been doing. Going back to adding more bets, but at a lower clip, right? Because what I've done since I have more money, I'm betting a lot less fewer. I'm definitely under that 10 bets per fight now. I'm definitely there. I'm definitely sometimes like, how many bets did I make last week? I was definitely under 10. I would think I made like 6 plays last week. I was close to under 5 bets. Or close to 5 bets last week. And we could have won money. If I didn't bet, I could have walked away with with profit if I didn't go all in on Glover. Now the finish here, guys, I've been smoking this fast, talking fast, smoking it fast, hitting it a lot, or drawing it, as we call it, drawing cigars. I still have to stay at that 8.75 where I can't give it a 9 yet. It has the potential to be there. It is different than a lot of the other cigars I've smoked. I think it's because that Costa Rican wrapper, binder, it is soft on the palate. Even now, it doesn't have the heavy oils that I like. It doesn't have the chocolatey character because it's Habano Maduro. I prefer a different type of Maduro, but it's still a good cigar. I'm going to leave it out of the 9 Club, but that's not saying that it shouldn't be in the 9 Club, and it wouldn't be with a little aging. Like, I don't know if this is a new cigar from them, from Alec and Bradley. I didn't see it before. I haven't reviewed it before. So it's new to me. I think it's a great value at $7.75. So if you're in it, you guys aren't even into the cigars. That's why I have no audience. But it's funny, like all the people that we watch, they're all smoking cigars. They never tell you what the fucking cigar is. And they're all cigar novices, by the way, too. Do you think Brendan Schaub has smoked as many cigars as I have? Really? Somebody that probably has smoked as much weed as Joe Rogan? Do you think Joe Rogan has smoked as many cigars as I have? Even though he's rich? We're close there. He probably caught up. He probably caught up to me. Because I stopped smoking cigars for a clip there for a while I was smoking weed. Burning a little hot, but still defined flavors, no pepperiness. It's losing a little bit of that. It still has a little of the sweetness, but it's losing a little bit. It's still very soft on the nose. Not a ton of oils. I want the oils. When it's close to this end here, I want that rich latheriness. Like almost if I literally took a spoonful, like a baby spoonful or a teaspoon of olive oil or truffle oil, and just put it on my tongue. Sometimes I want that in the finish of my cigars when it's hot, right? And other people might, whatever, oh, what the guy's talking about, whatever, I don't care about that shit. That's what I want, right? I want that in the end of my cigar. I want the rich oilness. I want to taste I still want it to be tasting similar to the beginning, but with more emphasis, more of a latheriness to the flavors. I want my palate to be overwhelmed, is what I want it to be. But this is a nice blend. There's a little of it there. And that's what habanero. Habano, but it has that little, not the spiciness, but the sweetness of what the habanero is. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. The subtle, like, to some people, habanero chilies are almost sweet. It's not the spiciest chili in chilies, right? It's nothing. Like it's almost like a green pepper. It has like a green pepper. It has that like that the pepperiness, the sweetness that still has that subtle spice to it. It has that hint of this, or maybe it's just with the beer, or maybe the beer is hitting me. Beer is taking the Lake Effect Brewing Company, guys. Where we was drinking the good shit, smoking the good shit out here in Chicago on this channel. Except for once when we were in Cabo. Smoked that was the irony. Went to Chicago, went to Mexico, smoked the worst cigar with the worst beer, the Michelob Ultra. Always got to remember that. well constructed, not the super long ash. Like it has a little, not the placation that we always want. There could be a lot of factors for that. I was drawing the cigar quite a bit, but the finish right now is it's finishing really well. And I think it could be the combination of the beer. Buzz is getting better. Really nice cigar. I'm starting to see a little plume, like that natural, not just the humidification plume, but like the oil plume, where the sheen is starting to come out a little bit. Not as much as I would want. I like that it is. It just. I think it's both the wrapper quality and the binder quality. They're not the premium, the mero, but it's still a darn good cigar. Still debating whether this. Yeah, it just isn't as. Not bad. That is not bad. It's not bad. I'm not going to let it in the 9 Club though. The Maxx is not in the 9 Club. What do they call it? Maxx something. It's going to be knocking on the door. 875. Not going to knock it down to 8.5. But for the price, this is 875 is knocking on the door, guys. That's nice. I think it's the beer that helps it. Beer helps everything. At least with me. I love Lake Effect Brewing Company stuff. I've not gotten any feedback from. I saw the guy from Old Irving Brewery. He didn't know who I was at Benny's today. He was there, picking up. I forgot what he picked up. I think he picked up some rum. I didn't approach the guy, but I know who he is. I mean, not Lake Effect. I mean, Old Irving Brewing Company, and it's just right now in Chicago, but Chicago, the brewers, the guys making beer here, fucking outstanding, man. They're just doing such a good job. Same with the food. You go to Iris Brewery, you go to Old Irving Brewery, you Revolution restaurant, the restaurants, the food is outstanding. These guys we're just destroying the game. We're fucking kicking ass. Like, you're not gonna have a bad, some of these beers. There's not any bad beers, right, guys? And it's not like $10.99 a 6-pack. Like, what are we talking about between your fucking Miller High Life at $6? This was $10.99. Your Miller High Life is like $6.99. Right? $4 more. Yes, it's almost double, but not quite. But I'd rather drink this shit all day. Johnny K. Picks, I owe you a fucking nice 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine for your wife. Or something like that, whatever, rum or champagne, so you guys can enjoy some morning or evening, whatever special occasion. But yeah, I see these guys, it's like, dude, get off, Raj, fucking, dude, you got a fucking good job. You can afford all this great beer you want, and you're fucking drinking the fucking worst shit possible. It's like, grow up. Invest in some good shit. You got the fucking money. That's what I'd like to have one day. I think that'd be a fun thing. Invite people here, like or have like an event someplace one day at one of the breweries, like at Old Irving or someplace. Invite the fans if you guys can make it in. You know, I'll try to make it worth somebody's while if I had enough money. Be like, yeah, fuck, we have this event, have this little dinner there. That'd be cool. Back in the day, you could rent out like a hotel room, like a banquet room, and smoke in it, and have an event like a smoker. I used to do this. Like they'd have the banquet rooms, you'd hire a chef to make the food in conjunction with the hotel, or they cater it. You would have a winemaker bring their wines, a beer person there, and I would supply cigars, and we'd have smokers where we would have great food, great desserts, great, libation, various elements of drinks, and have a smoker. And I would charge people. We'd charge people like, hey, we're going to smoke this, and I bring a couple boxes of cigars and hire a chef, hire a caterer to come, and you could smoke. But this is fucking 20 years ago. You know where I could have a smoker, Joey? In Cabo. At Franco's place, by the pool, in one of those rooms. We could hire a chef, right? Bring a couple boxes of cigars down there. Cook up some food, have some cigars. It's not a bad idea. The guys won't come, but that's okay. Joey won't even come to Cabo. People will flake again. All right, I'm digressing, guys, or digressing and deteriorating at the same time because it's the beer here. The lake effect is hitting me. The lake effect is taking its effect. It's being very effective. It's happening, guys. So, thank you guys that you've made it this far. You guys are about better. Appreciate any likes, any comments. Thank you, Real News. Thank you, Joey. You guys got Joey's pick. I'm not going to mention it again. You have to go watch the stream. Thanks, Real News and Phantom Smeagol, the only 3 people that actually came into the chat. I appreciate all you guys. If you made it this far, you are about better. Have a good weekend, good week. Stay away from this card, or let me know what you guys are doing. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll try to make some more content next week. No guarantee. I'll probably go on because I'm going to want to have a cigars. But thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Awesome, man. Thanks, Real News. You are about better.